What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Everything is Everything. I'm your host, Stephon,
It's your boy Jiggy.
and we're here to bring you another good week of diverse topics, good commentary, thoughtful conversation. You know, we pride ourselves on being diverse and being one of the most diverse podcasts you can find here on YouTube. And thank you all for liking, commenting, subscribing. Please let us know in the comments how you guys feel about the topics, how you guys are liking the conversation. Let us know your feedbacks on anything. We try to have really engaging conversations. So the more you guys engage with us, the more we can think of new ways to, bring about ideas and topics that maybe we wouldn't even think of prior to this. So with that being said, Jiggy, how was your week?
Hey man, my week was great, awesome. NBA is back, so we get to that later. But the NBA is back, so I was excited about that.
That's right. That's right.
Some great albums dropped this week. So excited about that. New York be back, so that's all I got to say.
No, that's true. Hey, you know what, man? It's been a very eventful week, especially like today. I love coming in like when news is breaking. For me, my week was, I'll say, fairly solid, man. I mean, I went down to the No Kings. I don't want to call it necessarily a march. I'll call it a protest, right? It was a nice, peaceful protest. A lot of people all over the country were showing up in big numbers. I went to the one at Young Circle down here in South Florida, and it was a pretty good turnout, man. Cool to see whenever people can come together and voice their opinions and how they feel about the current state of, the government or life in general. I truly believe in protest. Like, I think it's one of the foundational things that we can enjoy here in America is freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and it is your right to critique. And I think oftentimes when you don't exercise that right to critique, your needs don't get met. So that was a great experience. It was like my first time doing anything like that since 2020 when we actually did a march for George Floyd, God rest his soul, back then. So a little bit of a different crowd, a lot more white people, and a lot older. I did not expect these many people. Like, I was probably one of the youngins there. I was like, oh.
So let me ask you, do you feel like these protests is very effective in getting to the solution of whatever problem you're trying to solve?
I'll be honest. I think with protests, they serve, in my personal opinion, two things. One, to express yourself. I think a lot of people at home feel some type of way. You want to get out. You want to do something. You want to, whatever's bubbling in your soul, you want to go out and get that off your chest, right? I think protests serve well to do that. And I also think it's like a good step one. I wouldn't say it's the solution, but it's a good step one because it's like, okay, hey, here's people in masses. Here's how they think. We're moving in unison, trying to, let our concerns and our needs be heard and felt. And then after that, there's a multitude of ways that you could protest, not just through rallies and things like that, but like, of course, boycotting. The way you vote could be a pseudo protest if you're not happy with a governor, a president, a mayor, a councilman, whatever the case may be. Like, those are all ways that you can help voice and get things done and get things changed. Petitions and like. There's a myriad of ways you can go.
Let me ask you, so do you feel like they've, because to me, I feel like they've done good at being able to like domesticate protests, right? And what I mean by that is, you ever heard Tupac in one of his interviews, he said, first it starts off, we are hungry, please let us in. We are hungry, please let us in. And then it eventually gets, I'm opening up the lock, I'm boasting open the door. He goes to that point. And it seems like protests nowadays, it's a little bit more like domesticated where they make sure it doesn't, of course, you're going to say what you have to say, but the solution at the end, it seems like they kind of be like, oh, well, we're going to give you what we think is beneficial towards your protest, compared to like, when people that are protesting getting exactly what they want, right?
Right.
So, my thing about it is, as people, at what point do, they, and I say they because I just want to generalize that, expect us, that cry not to get louder, that cry not to turn into anger,
right?
That cry not to turn into, straight chaos at some points.
Right, and bro, it can definitely get there, bro. I don't want to ever confuse the people at home and thinking that one rally or one protest is going to be the thing that gets it done, because it's far from it. Like, this fight is going to continue to happen. People are worried about fascism taking over democracy.
Yeah.
And to your point, bro, like Pac said, my favorite all-time rapper, my GOAT. One day we got to get the people our top 5 rappers, bro. I don't think we ever did that on this podcast, right? But to your point, I think people are getting there. Like, but it hasn't hit that boiling point yet. I think you saw a glimpse of that, like you said, where it was chaos. We saw that in 2020, right?
Yeah.
We saw that in like cities quite literally start to become on fire.
Yeah.
I've never participated in one that crazy. I've never, lit a match and lit something on fire or threw like a homemade bomb or anything close to that. You know what I mean? I never lit a cop car on fire or nothing like that, but it could get there. I feel like that's a last resort when people have frustrated and have exhausted all means to trying to be heard. I think to your point about protests being a little bit more domesticated, right, was the word?
Correct.
It's a different time we live in, and it's like you have people who may not show up on the street, but they'll repost a clip, or they'll interact on the internet however they see fit. They might make a TikTok video, Instagram reel, a Facebook post, a tweet. You know what I mean? So I feel like part of the reason why that feels a little bit more subdued is because maybe people don't need to actually show up in the streets and yell really loud, because they feel like typing from their phone is gonna get that off their chest. You know what I mean? Because like I said, a lot of this is an emotional thing. Like, people feel tired, people feel frustrated, people feel like they just want to do something, bro. Like, I think everybody have you ever participated in a protest or a rally for yourself personally?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you kind of know that feeling of like just that stir to move. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, but you know there's a group of people that feel like how you feel, and when you go out in that moment and you go through your chants, or you walk, or you march, and you have this fellowship, it's a sense of relief, and it shows to it shows the people that you're posting against, like, you guys are organized.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. When I was younger, my father, he worked with a union in New York City, and I used to go to the protests with him, and it would be fighting for the rights of people are working, making sure they're getting paid right, making sure things that are done at work is getting handled the right way. So the union comes in, and they would have protests, and I would go with my father, and they would hold up signs, make sure we communicate the message, and make sure that the people that are working at them jobs get what they wanted. So yeah, I definitely was doing it ever since I was younger. I would go there with him all the time, and it's like, when I looked at it, the protest was usually the point where after they established that there was a problem and are looking for the solution, the protest was the add on to make sure that whatever they're trying to get, they get.
Right.
And that's why I say it's a little bit domesticated now, because it's like the first point protest, at certain things, and then it's like, okay, well, hopefully something happens after the protest.
Yeah, no, you gotta definitely have a plan and a follow through. It's almost like in boxing. Like, if you just jab and you don't got like a right hook or something like that, something to counter it. Yeah. Like, if you don't respect this jab, then I'm up. Yeah. So you definitely need that. But in all this protest talk, man, like I've been saying, I've seen a lot of propaganda over the last couple years, man. Propaganda has always existed, right? But it's really annoying. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you can see such flagrant propaganda, and you see people in the media with these loud platforms.
Like who?
Man, let me tell you something about a brother named Stephen A. Smith. Now, for those unfamiliar with Stephen A. Smith, he's a seasoned sports journalist and TV personality on ESPN. I mean, has worked a myriad of sporting events. And over the last, call it 2 or 3 years-ish, has been slowly trying to transition into this political space, right? Now, listen, man, I'm all for evolving. I'm all for showing different sides of yourself. That's why, like, even when we made this podcast, two brothers who used to hoop, grew up in basketball. A lot of people said, hey, you gonna make it a sports podcast? I said, not really. We're gonna talk about sports, but it won't be a sports podcast necessarily because we have so much more to ourselves than just sports, right?
Yeah.
And I'll get bored every day coming to you guys talking hoops and what a pick and roll is, a floppy screen and all that. Y'all don't need me for that. You can watch the professionals do it even better than I could on their TVs at home, right? But Stephen A. has been trying to assert himself and establish himself as a credible political voice, right? Whether or not he's doing a good job at it, I don't think so necessarily. Some people may feel differently about it. I feel like you're in two lanes and you're about to have no lane. Like people are annoyed on the sports side of the lane, and a lot of people are getting annoyed on the political side of the lane, right? To give some backstory, Stephen A. went on, well, he's been talking about LeBron ever since the LeBron incident when he came up to him at the game and kind of checked him about Bronny James. Stephen A. has just been on this like interview tirade of talking about how much doesn't like LeBron. LeBron's fake. LeBron set me up. LeBron did this. And if he had called me this and this and that. Was even on Melo's podcast this week talking about the same rehash story. And I'm like, damn, bro, like I thought you would have been over it by now, but I guess not. In the political world, he had some commentary for a woman named Jasmine Crockett. I'm not the most politically informed by it, but I hear she's quite good at her job, right? But Stephen A. was criticizing her because she was criticizing Trump. Like I said at the beginning, our job is to criticize those in power. If you don't criticize those in power, they're not serving you. They're there to serve you. We don't exist to serve them. Mm-hmm. Like, let's not ever get this confused, right? And he got a lot of backlash. I mean, a lot of backlash from our culture. Black people were not having it with Stephen A. Smith talking about her in that way and making it seem as if that her criticisms were invalid and asking, well, why isn't she working with Trump? Why is she not, why is she agitating him, And I'm like, well, Stephen A., you're supposed to agitate people who aren't fulfilling the needs of the people. That's the job. And people in higher positions who are doing that are doing their job because they exist to serve people. So Stephen A. has now kind of evolved into what some might say is like the Uncle Tom in media, right? He's tap dancing in front of these cameras and microphones and trying to kind of quell, like, I guess, any resistant talks. I don't know who people think Stephen A. is. He's never had that much clout. Like, Stephen A. has, like, at no point in our culture was like, man, Stephen A. said this, let's move. Like, nah, like when Jay-Z said, nigga, we wearing button-ups, no more jerseys, a lot of niggas stopped wearing jerseys. You know what I'm saying? When Cameron went and got square earrings, a lot of niggas was rocking square earrings. Stephen A. has never had that type of cachet. It's like, we like sports, we like basketball. First Take was a thing from 2007 to about 2014. And that was it. That's cool. I'm going to play a quick clip, right? And I'm going to get into a little more of the crux of, like, my issues with Stephen A. Let me just make sure the speaker's on. All right, we got action, right?
Time. One incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming. He's coming. We'll say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story, okay? Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming half the time? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, or whatever the case may be, this was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Because when you've got all of these...
I'm going to pause it right there, and I'm going to just say this, right? I'm going to look into the camera. I'm going to get Stephen A., no one gives a fuck if Trump is coming, nigga. Bring it on. At this point, right, I'm so tired of, like, him trying to act like Trump's the boogeyman, and we're supposed to just quell and shake. Oh, my God. You know, everybody get in line. Like, here come Trump. Here come... Nick, we don't give a fuck at this point. Stephen A., shut up. God damn, bro. I'm so tired of the propaganda. I'm so tired of niggas like trying to use their subliminal messaging. First of all, if ICE come to the Super Bowl, bro, who the fuck they gonna arrest? It ain't nothing but rich ass motherfuckers at the Super Bowl. Them tickets is going for $1,000 for nosebleeds. Bad Bunny is an American citizen. He's Puerto Rican. That's an American territory. All this yapping about what Trump's gonna do and he might come for the WNBA, bro. We don't care, bro. You know what? That's what we need. We need someone to wake it up. Like, if that's what's coming, we're gonna meet resistance with resistance.
Well, you know, bro, after listening to everything you said, I definitely understand what you're saying. I think Stephen A. has done a great job, and this is why he gets paid the big bucks of invoking emotions in the people who probably don't want to hear what he has to say. Because I promise you, bro, the next time that he says something, you're going to be listening. And you're not going to be listening probably to hear if he has a good point. You're going to be listening to pick apart what he's saying. And that's why he gets paid, because he makes you listen. At the end of the day, do I think, he believes in every point that he says? No. But I do believe that the points that he says is getting to an overall point. At the end of the day, his beef with LeBron, starting with that, right? You said he had a beef with LeBron. That is his beef with LeBron, that information that they only know about. Because a lot of the things that we know about don't make sense. Everything else that he may know about and why he may have that beef is so he's bringing it to the table with not full information and want people to look at his point of view towards LeBron. It's not, no. You get what I'm saying? Because LeBron hasn't really even said anything that much about it. So it really just looks like he's just talking about nothing. Right. So stop talking about it if you ain't gonna say something. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So that's one thing. The thing now, which is the craziest thing, is that he has this very opinionated side of him in sports world, which is mixing, which he's gonna transition at because he's gonna be the same person when he goes into the political side, right? And he's mixing the two, right? And it's kind of hard for, I can see it's being hard for a fan to really even try to understand what he's trying to get across or even want to even listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. He was on ESPN just now, and he's crossing politics with sports.
Niggas ain't tuning in for that, man.
You get what I'm saying? And exactly the point. So, for instance, if I had critique, right, I'd be like, I don't want to hear that when I want to hear about Wembanyama. You're making it more about this other stuff.
Exactly.
Or maybe he would, I'm pretty sure his response would be like, hey, they told me this is what I have to talk about. So this is why I'm talking about it.
Man, he claimed to be executive producer.
If he's the producer, then he's making these topics. But at the end of the day, we're making it more about it. We should have been talking about Wembanyama's 40 points and probably going to be the best player ever. But again, we're stuck on that because he's the one bringing it. He's the one that's going to point. He can easily be like, I truly think he can easily say, hey, listen, this is what we're going to mainly talk about today. You get what I'm saying? And people would have he could have made a big, but he wants to do that because he has a point to make his political views for people to listen to it. So he get people like you who would never want to even listen to him say anything political. He mix it into a show that you may listen to. And he's going to get you to even listen to him do more politics.
Right.
Don't fall for the trap. That's how I look at it. And I feel like right now, almost everybody has a political view. Right. And at a point where they're not even politicians.
No,
so that's the world we're living in. You get what I'm saying? So
you're right. No, bro, those are a lot of valid points, and I get what you're saying because, like we talk about, like our emotions are currency to these people, right?
Yeah.
Now I've been stopped watching First Take for a long time now, just because the commentary around the games that we love haven't really been all that great, right? That's all well and fine, you know. I think the only reason why I even feel the need to like respond, now, mind you, who am I? Like, we ain't got no big platform. Like, we're not speaking to
Yeah, man. You just got a
100,000
do-rag
people.
that
Yeah,
just,
I gotta
supporting the
do rag.
Knicks.
Hey,
just a
peep the
fan.
shirt though. Hey, shout out Westbrook, man. You know, honor the gift, man. The free advertising for the bros, dog. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Westbrook. I'm reacting to it because it's like, bro, like enough's enough, bro. I just feel like even if it's a small voice, bro, someone got to speak back in the sense of like, I hate when you see someone blatantly act like a token.
Strong word, hate, man.
I hate, no, bro, it's a strong word because I feel strongly about this, bro. I don't like niggas misrepresenting and like, and in my mind, I almost feel insulted. I feel like whoever's cutting Stephen A's check to go and spew this rhetoric think that niggas give a fuck about what Stephen A gotta say. We don't give a fuck about what Stephen A gotta say about none of that shit. We ain't buying none of.
They just know that we're listening. That's
it. Like we you know what?
That's the point.
You know what? Maybe it's right. We listen. Like I don't even want to say listen, nigga. We heard you. We ain't listening though. We heard what you say, but we ain't listening to this nigga.
I ain't hear that. Until you told me about this, I didn't hear it. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, I'm glad, bro. That's my problem now, because I be trying to curate for this podcast.
Not even that. I understand why. It's because he's a journalist, isn't he? He's a journalist.
Yeah.
In sort of a way, right?
Yeah, can't take that from him.
Yeah. So I understand why. The only reason I didn't hear that this week is because honestly, bro, I've been just looking at NBA, you know what I'm saying? If it ain't about NBA and highlights, because that's what they're selling to us.
Right. They are selling the highlights.
So now when I look at First Take, like you said, you don't even listen to it, right? It's because now at that point I feel like they're selling more of the people that's there, and I don't really care about their point when it's like more like, you know what I mean? Like I don't care. But the highlights, looking at things that's specific, that's why, or whatever the case is. But that I felt like you bring up a valid point with Stephen A, or whatever the case is. And honestly, bro, you know, I mean, I guess this is why he makes his money, like I said before.
Yeah.
You know.
But to forward this topic, bro, part of the reason why I even heard this isn't because I was watching First Take. It's because breaking news this morning, there was a probe with the FBI attacking illegal gambling. And that's in large part what Stephen A was trying to speak about before it somehow became a message to fear Trump like he's a boogeyman. Fuck Trump, nigga.
You need to fear the betters, the people coming after people. I feel you need to fear Hard Rock. You know?
Hey, listen, facts, bro.
Underdog.
I be looking at things like, you know, the moment gambling becomes so mainstream is also a moment in which so many people are suffering financially. Inflation's high. The government shut down. There are government workers who aren't getting paid. But you know what? Hey, $5 will get you 50 free bonus bets. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, are they actively trying to play off people's desperation? Because everybody looking for an extra dollar. And if you can make it as easy as, yo, you go on your phone, you type in, you pick over, under, you put this money on here, and you could potentially win big prizes. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff is going to lend into more people falling into gambling. The news that broke this morning is Chauncey Billups, the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, a former NBA Finals MVP and a NBA champion. Sounding he big Kobe in the Lakers ring. I'm talking about that. Take that ring back, good to Kobe. Anyway, nah, they weren't fair and square. I can't even do all that right. Shout out to Ben Wallace and the boys, right? But along with Terry Rozier, who was a current player on the Heat roster, getting scooped up and arrested this morning by the feds in allegedly illegal bets. I think Chauncey, from what I read, was with like rigged poker games, and Terry Rozier got arrested because he was betting on NBA games. Jiggy, help me out, bro. Please help me out. Both these dudes especially Chauncey, being an older gentleman, I believe probably like in his early 50s, has been in pro sports for a long time. We watched Terry Rozier play at FIU when he was on Louisville. That nigga done made over $100 million in his career. I don't even know what Chauncey made. I just know Chauncey been around professional basketball for 30 plus years. There's no way y'all niggas need like an extra couple thousand.
Yeah, but personally, bro, like, I don't know too much about how it's done, whatever the case is, but I'm pretty sure, bro, like, bro, if I was in the NBA, bro, and you told me like, yeah, I ain't gotta give nobody money, but all they gotta do is spend all their money and just be like, and use their money for this. Shit, listen, bro, I'm not playing, so, or I'm gonna probably only play a quarter. Make your money. You get what I'm saying? I think that part of it, as a player, feeling like you can you don't have to like give something and they can just make it off of you just playing like you usually do. I feel like that like lessens a responsibility in your hand. Sometimes from giving them actually something. Hey, listen, if you want to make money, I ain't giving you nothing, but you can bet on this. You know what I'm saying? Now, integrity definitely plays a big part in doing something like that. Of course, you know what I'm saying, but there's a lot of people out there that eat off a lot of these NBA players.
It's a lot of people now,
and,
for sure.
And a lot of different things like that. And there's a lot of people who work regular jobs and they look at things like, yo, listen, they friends with some of these NBA players. These NBA players look at them like, listen, I'm not going to give you a new life, but I mean, by means, you hang around me, you should be able to pick up what you can and be able to make what you can from it. You get what I'm saying? So I think, Chauncey Billups doing it, he's just part of a bigger scheme. All right. If he's doing it, then there's a whole bunch of other people doing it. Right.
There's definitely a lot of people doing it.
You get what I'm saying? So you're going to identify him and they're going to say he has ties with the mafia, but then keep bringing up just the NBA players. Like, fuck out of here. I don't want to hear about just the NBA players. You get what I'm saying? If it's a bigger problem, then address the bigger problem. Don't address these people who are probably have to do this or their kids get killed or their family get killed. Like, fuck out of here. You're not going to convince me that these people are doing something dead wrong when these people, just NBA players, they do this stuff, they're involved in this bigger business, making millions, and these people are like, yeah, I don't know what happened, but I'm just saying there's a lot of things that go into situations like that.
And to that point,
I'm not gonna look at them crazy.
They said they picked up mob members too. They said they picked up like over 13 different mob members. So this is definitely a larger scheme at play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like the mob isn't the famous one. You know what I mean? It's Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier. So I'm gonna address two things you said real quick. From the player standpoint of Terry Rozier, right? I understand that especially if you come from a certain economic background, if you're coming from the hood, if you're coming from a background where your parents maybe just don't have it like that, you know what I mean? And then you make it to that point and you have a bunch of homies with you. You got your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, and everybody around you, even the girl that you might love that may not even love you for you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their hand out for something. I get all that, right? That's, we're supposed to work on a topic where we're talking about, we got to start training athletes to, it sounds cliche when you say to be more than an athlete now, but to understand, like, you can't just teach them how to catch a football good. You can't just teach them how to dribble good. You got to give them life skills, because all you're teaching them is a skill to get them to a certain point. They amass all these millions by 19 and they ain't got the life skills to manage it, right? So that's a first step we need to start addressing. The second step, right? You've been in the league long enough to know who you can and can't hang out with, right? If you want to change someone's life, it ain't gonna come through gambling, my nigga. At no point are you gonna sit there, if you're a real homie and you're the one like in the position where you got this, like, at no point should you really be thinking like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna get these amount of minutes and do this and that and the third, and you can go just place your bet. I ain't gonna give you the money for it, but you can go place your bet and do this and that and that. Like, bro, that's not even sustainable, bro. Why don't you?
If you're regular people, bro.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So regular people, help them do extraordinary things with your resources. If you're gonna do all that, say, bro, why do you help bro get into a trade school? Why do you help bro?
See, like, why do you want him to do something extra with his money or his time with his connections?
But that's the thing. I'm not even saying like it don't necessarily even got to be his money or his time or his thing, because what he shouldn't do is put himself at liability by saying this and the third and encouraging his friend to be a degenerate.
That's alleged. They didn't say that's not even saying that he actually did that. Like they're making there's an investigation from 2023, basically, and they're putting this all together to make charges against him. Right. It hasn't even been set in stone yet because they're building this investigation to get somebody or some other people. Right?
That's true. It's true.
Like,
this is alleged.
You
That
get
is
what I'm
true.
saying? Like at the end of the day, you get what I'm saying? So Chauncey Billups doing this. You know what? Go ahead and ruin this dude's reputation. Go ahead and ruin Terry Rozier's reputation because you guys are trying to get them to say more things to get to the bigger people. But fine. I'm glad somebody like Gilbert Arenas, they caught somebody like Gilbert Arenas. You know why? Because he didn't care. He's like, oh, you want to arrest me, right? Oh, I love his perspective of thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
But that's my point. But in larger point, my thing is, right, do you believe in, like, where there's smoke, there's fire?
I mean, explain what you're speaking about.
So, like my thing is, right, if y'all weren't gambling at all to begin with, what is the likelihood that you end up in this situation?
Yeah, but that's how the NBA, that's part of the NBA's making profit, being able to gamble on the game.
See, we get into a problem now. See, I think now we're getting down to a root, right? Listen, man.
So what happens if a player feels like, how are they going to make money off it, but I can't?
Well, you make money off of playing. Like, if you're...
But they make more money off of playing, and they still have the option to do it. But what happens if an NBA player feels the same way?
That's the greed aspect of it, bro. Like, if your contract is $35 million for that year, what do you need an extra $20,000 for?
If you're a business profiting billions of dollars a year, why do you need to control the bets and control it in that aspect?
Well, let's put it like this, right? Let's say
the little man little.
Let's say for example, right? If you're the business, if I'm gonna speak to the business aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't speak for certain, like, and say like the NBA gets X percentage from Hard Rock bets, Prize Picks, whatever the case may be. I don't know the logistics of those things, right?
Yeah, we don't.
I do know that the product needs to have a certain level of integrity, right? Because if the product is compromised...
From just one side?
No, from both sides. And that's what I'm saying from a business standpoint. If I'm looking at it, right, as a business owner, let's say I'm the commissioner of the NBA, right? I say, here's this product. Every nigga know somebody that runs around going, sports is rigged, sports is rigged, sports is rigged. Your job as a commissioner to be like, no, these players go out, play hard, they put their all into it, the game has an integrity. You know who does that a lot? Like, really, really a lot? The NFL. The NFL don't play about that shield. The NFL does not play about that shield. Which is, I mean, not to say that you probably can't see it happen, or maybe it hasn't happened already. I'm unaware of it, but we saw Michael Porter Jr.'s brother already get banned from the NBA for sports betting. I don't know what Adam Silver got going on, but it's starting to feel like the inmates are running the asylum, right? If you're a business owner, you've got to establish a certain level of responsibility and culture within the business to let people know, like, this is not acceptable. Because the minute people start feeling that the game's integrity is compromised, this whole thing can sink very quickly. Now, instead of y'all making the 5-year, $100 million contracts, y'all got to go back to the 80s contracts where you're going to sign the 10-year deal for $10 million. Now y'all really going to need them bets because you don't have the money to support your lifestyles. And once again, going back into the integrity and teaching these young men how to think wisely, y'all don't need to be degenerates. Y'all made it.
But that's like telling somebody not to be a product of their environment, bro. Like, I just don't get the fact of, that's like saying me coming from the hood and not having stenches of the hood on me because in certain aspects, no matter how far I get in life. Like, bro, it's if you're in the NBA business, you're in it for 10, 20, 30 years, right? You become a product of your environment. Stop making it seem like these people are doing something evil when they're more of a product of their environment.
Well, what I'm asking you, I think everybody has a personal responsibility to themselves to be more than just a product of the environment. Not to say that like that's like to demonize them, or like you said, like you're coming from a certain background and you may have a tendency to do this, that, and the third. But give you an example, right?
You tell me one business that has pure integrity.
None of them.
So why do you expect the individual to be pure integrity?
Because, bro, at the end of the day, a nigga like Terry Rozier is never gonna beat the odds. Like the NBA got the best lawyers and all that. So if they get caught up in something, they're probably not gonna get the brunt of the burden, right? A nigga like Terry Rozier, if he gets caught up in this, he can end up in jail, and now his whole livelihood, his kids, his family, his mom, his dad, all of them are affected. I'm asking y'all to be responsible to yourselves and to protect yourselves by not doing some dumb shit.
But bro, that's the same thing I'm saying, bro. Like he whatever risk he take, I agree. It's not worth it. You have millions. That is great from our perspective to say that to him, right? And like I'm saying, he's a product of his environment, bro. If he's in the NBA, he's probably seeing things going on and how things are going, whatever the case is, and millions of people are doing it, right? And he's a product of his environment. And you're like, you have to have more integrity. Bro, what are you saying to somebody that's just living within the atmosphere that is happening all around him?
I'm telling them what they need to hear because they need to do better. Because at the end of the day, right?
But is it people, the individuals that need to do better, right? Or do the NBA need to construct how they have the betting better?
I think the NBA needs to construct on how they stop these players from betting. Because at the end of the day, bro, like I said, like these players are so overly well compensated, bro. There's literally no real reason why they should be doing this. These players are getting more money than practically every sports. Hold on, hear me out. Practically every other sports team, like they're getting paid more than NFL players, they're getting paid more than baseball players, they're getting paid more than hockey players, they're getting paid more than soccer players here. So my thing is, right, isn't to say like there isn't some level of responsibility for the commissioner too, because like I said, I've been saying I've had a lot of criticisms about Adam Silver over the last, when did he take over? I don't even know how long it's been, probably over 5 years now. I've had a lot of criticisms on what's been going on in the NBA since he's been commissioner versus with David Stern. And a lot of it don't look good. This don't look good on the NBA at all. And to move off of Terry Rozier, someone like Chauncey Billups, I'm especially disappointed in because Chauncey Billups is an elder gentleman, has been around the league a long time. Whether it's fair or not, bro.
Too much expectation.
Hold on. We're But that's the problem, bro. Sometimes, I'd rather have high expectations of somebody because I believe in you than have low expectations because I think you ain't worth shit.
So you're setting yourself up for failure?
No, I'm not saying he's a failure, but like think about it. Your expectations should be put high. Like you should be held.
You shouldn't have expectations on anybody.
Everybody, hear me out. Even with a Chauncey Billups. Unfortunately, especially being black, when you're black, you represent more than yourself. You're going to represent all of us. It's unfair, but it's kind of a reality that we have to live with, right? So Chauncey Billups being in a head coach, there ain't too many black head coaches. So it's like you getting mixed up in this is going to create a hurdle for the next person who's potentially looking to get in that position. On top of that, once again, all this just says greed. Like all of this just says greed. Like at one point is enough enough? Like I don't know. Once again, a lot of this is alleged. We don't know the details to a lot of these stories because this news literally broke this morning.
When you say enough is enough, are you speaking about corporate or are you speaking about the individuals?
I'm speaking to individuals that's amassed so much money that you should be okay living for a good period. Like your bills are paid, you're not in a financial stress. You have
Could you take
good
money
checks
out of
coming
it?
in.
Let's just not talk about money with them because I feel like the point of the conversation now is about how much money they have and they have this money, they should be good at, and let's talk about them as individuals and human beings.
Okay.
Right? And the pressures that they may deal with to get to those points or the things around them that may allow them to get to the point. Because it's not money. Money is not the reason why they're doing this. Can we agree they're not trying to accumulate more money than they ever had in their life by just doing betting? Because they have enough money. That's what you're saying. You're saying they have enough money, they shouldn't be doing it. So why are they doing it?
So you have to tell me, for me to respond, you have to tell me why do you believe that these gentlemen find themselves in a gambling ring sting operation?
Because they're a product of their environment. They're around it. I feel like they're not just the only one. They're seeing other people do it. They're seeing a mass business or other things that we don't know about that they see here, right? And they figure in their mind, if I'm doing this compared to doing this, how am I going to ever get caught? Or why does how's when I'm doing such a battle with integrity compared to what is going on over here, right? But at the end of the day, you're not big fish, so you're gonna get caught up. You know what I'm saying? That's the point of what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I just feel like, bro, you putting too much expectations on people that are living with it. Like, that's like saying somebody living in the hood and he's like, yo, bro, listen, bro, I know there's people shooting around you and there's somebody shooting at you, and you know, but I'm expecting you to just do all this. But I can't eat at home. But I'm expecting you to do this. Like, you know, you have to put reality around a situation. You can't just think it's one thing. You know what I mean? It has to be a reality around why a person is doing things besides money. It has to be, it's because it's mental at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you, you ever heard the saying, like, if all your friends was jumping off a roof, would you follow them?
But that's not the situation.
No, think about it, because you're telling me it's a product of their environment. So if everybody in your environment was just walking off a roof and jumping to their death, would you follow it?
But but that's saying that everybody, the product of environment is saying that the bigger picture, somebody in that environment can take a little thing here and become a product of his environment. So you're saying somebody's just jumping off a bridge and that everybody in the hood is going to just jump over. No, one person might walk to the cliff. You get what I'm saying? One person might drive up there with them. One person might not go.
No,
because the product of their environment is the decisions you make based off your environment, you know, the environment you're in. You get what I'm saying? And you can't just say everybody, if they go jump off the bridge, are you going to go jump off the bridge? That's not how everybody else is going to do it. Everybody's going to do something different based off them being a product of their environment.
I'm using your environment because they're telling me they're a product of their environment. So it's like almost as to absolve like any personal responsibility on themselves and their decision that they made. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand that, you know, making choices because you're in a desperate situation, making choices because you're lacking certain things, making choices because you don't have certain information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I get that.
Okay.
Like, that's fine. My expectation isn't coming from, you know, a young 15-year-old kid who doesn't have all the tools to life yet.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Rozier's what, 30?
Yeah.
Has made over $100 million in his career.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm asking is, and this is, once again, not on Terry, because as someone who's praying that Terry is free, I don't want to see that black man go to jail and that $100 million, who knows, I don't want to say wasted or, you know, who's in charge of his money, who's not in charge of his money, what's able to get paid, what's not able to get paid. Is his contract going to be voided out? Is there legal repercussions that he could be forced to pay up this and pay up that? Money can go by so quick. And then you know what's going to happen? If you're in jail, you're not going to make that money. You're a property of the state. Your kids is out here. Your baby moms is out here. Or if you're married, your wife is out here. Your mom's is out here. Your dad is out here. If God forbid someone gets sick, this just goes left far too many times, bro. My thing is that if you don't take up some type of like personal responsibility and you allow yourself to just be a product of your environment, sometimes being a product of your environment is going to land you into a space where you can't come back from, or a space that's going to put the people that you love in a tough spot, bro. So when I'm saying this, bro, it's not to say like, yeah, I don't understand, you know, a certain rationale. I don't understand what it's like to, you know, make a decision based off of a certain circumstance. What I'm saying is, bro, I don't want to see no black man in jail. That man got generational money. I want to see him out free, thriving, doing all that. And guess what? There's so many other ways better than betting. Like if you don't know any other way better than betting, that's why they say you don't want to be the smartest man in the room. You know what I'm saying?
That's the reason why they're in this situation, bro. It's because it's education. You think that Rozier and Chauncey Billups are the most educated in gambling and all they do is play basketball?
No.
I'm pretty sure somebody gamed them with a great idea or they seen something, right? Because they're not educated enough in that. I'm pretty sure they're not gambling top 100 I'm pretty sure, bro. they're not educated enough to know exactly what they were doing. You
No,
think
I
they
know.
were educated enough to know what they were doing?
But that's why you're leading to my bigger point, and that's why I was saying earlier. It's like, sorry, it's not about, because like I said, the top of the top is never really gonna get in trouble. It's the disenfranchised people that's always gonna feel it the worst. Like during the crack era, the niggas who were selling crack is the one doing 30-year bids off a gram of cocaine, crack rock cocaine. It's never the people importing the drugs, the FBI funneling the drugs. All they get off scot-free.
You know, it's not about Chavo.
Hey man, you know, I don't watch a lot of Narcos. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you get what I'm saying? Those people aren't the ones getting the worst. Like the people who are the products of the environment, they're the scapegoats. They're the ones who are getting the worst. They're the ones whose families are going to be feeling it for generation after generation. No, that's why I'm telling you not to accept it. That's why I'm telling y'all, hey, think. Don't do the status quo. Do the opposite, even if going against the grain don't always feel right or if it always don't make sense in that moment. I'm asking.
That sounds easy.
It's not, and that's the thing. It's not easy. What I'm saying to you is not easy at all. Man, bro, I've seen in my lifetime a lot of people who come from, you know, underprivileged circumstances. Even my grandma, who came from Jamaica, had about a 6th grade education.
Yeah.
Started a business, just had a hustle, just had a vision. A lot of times, she could have just been a product of her environment. I understand that not everyone's skill set is a skill set, but how you beat the odds, it's also by like caring about yourself first, right? And understanding like what you mean to people and how your presence is needed. So like I said, in the case of Chauncey Billups, it's disappointing because Chauncey Billups has lived a long enough life. I'm sure Chauncey Billups has seen enough. Chauncey Billups comes from Denver, you know what I'm saying? Chauncey Billups has overcame a lot of odds in his life. Chauncey Billups has fought his way, like a lot of people didn't know. There's a point where Chauncey Billups may not have even been in the NBA. He was on a bit of a thin ice, and he carved out a career for himself. He's won a championship. Mr. Big Shot himself. Like, he has too much knowledge and too much experience to be fucking around in some random, you know, poker games. You know, you can play poker, do it legally.
There's some grown ass men.
You know
They're gonna do what they want. Like,
that's my point. And that's my point. It's having a responsibility. Now, you know what, man? To your point, maybe some expectations are unfair. Growing up, I had a lot of unfair expectations put on me, but it also made me who I was because I had to grow up quicker and I had to understand like how to meet pressure. You know what I mean? It's not easy. I mean, it's easier said than done. It ain't always easy. And I think that's the problem sometimes is that we keep trying to look for the easy route. I think gambling is an easy route for a lot of niggas. It's hard to apply yourself and go get a trade. It's hard to apply yourself and work a job and try to go to school. It's hard to do those things. But the easy route ain't always gonna.
Trading can be the easy route for some people.
Trading could be, but even then, you know what a lot of people do? A lot of people treat trading like gambling. It's hard to wake up and want to watch CNBC and Bloomberg and read these articles and then learn technicals and then understand, you know, how to actually take trader psychology simple. You know, I'm sorry, trader psychology seriously. You know what I mean? Because I've seen a lot of people treat the market like a casino. And that's the problem with the people nowadays because everybody's looking for something quote unquote easy, bro. Everybody's looking for something quote unquote easy. And the problem is when you're looking for something that's so easy, more times than not, if it's too easy, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is.
Yeah, but when you're being, I mean, the general perception out there, we're being sold on almost everything. There's not a corner I can't turn around and I'm not going to be sold on something.
Exactly. That's my main point about the people being in desperate situations. Suddenly it's a bunch of easy gambling access. I think it's people, you know, they're using propaganda and putting these things in front of people for a reason.
And you think it's easy for people not to, I know it's easy for you.
No, hell no, it ain't easy for me.
To notice and be aware of and conscious of how it's being advertised to you. But do you think everybody It's because everybody's in a different situation,
Mm-hmm.
and something may look different to them compared to you. My thing about it, bro, that's why me personally, I just look at it where I wouldn't put expectations on a Chauncey Billups or Terry Rozier. You know, my expectation is on the NBA. The NBA is a business. It has trained professionals to go around and follow these people and make sure that they're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
They do. From coaches, because they want to keep their business intact, because integrity is basically number one with them, because they want to make sure that the integrity is looking good. You can't tell me little cracks like this is slipping up. They didn't know about Chauncey Billups being at the game or knew something before then. You're not going to tell me.
Don't get me wrong.
Don't throw liability on them.
Yeah,
you ain't going to throw responsibility on these players or these people.
Listen.
Don't make them look bad, because you're going to make the NBA look bad. That's all I'm saying.
Listen. The
NBA looks bad right now, not just them, the NBA.
No, the NBA does, and that's why I don't want to absolve the NBA of any responsibility,
Facts.
And I want to make sure that clear. Listen to y'all. Anybody out there watching, understand, protect yourself. Protect yourself.
Bro,
but hold on.
we got to watch 5 different streams to watch an NBA game.
Yeah.
And then they can't even get this gambling thing right. Bro, what's going on?
Listen.
I don't want to watch. Come on, bro.
Listen.
Pick a struggle.
Listen, I get it. I get it. The NBA got a lot to fix.
Piss me off, NBA.
But this conversation actually reminds me of an incident that also happened between last week's recording and this week's recording. Some of y'all may have seen a viral clip of one Mark Lamont Hill on the Joe Budden podcast going up against a Queen's Flip who ended up turning into a shouting match, right?
Yeah.
Are you a fan of the Joe Budden podcast at all? Do you watch him at all or not really?
I mean, I've seen that clip.
Listen, man, as a long-time watcher of the Joe Budden podcast, and I'm even a Patroni, admittedly, right?
Who's a Patronian?
A Patroni mean like I'm subscribed to his Patreon.
Oh, bro, I thought that meant like one of his like legal belly dancers or something like that. I didn't know what that was.
Hey, no. Hey,
I didn't know what that was.
That's the community talk, man. Listen, a lot happened from that eruption. A bunch of think pieces. One think piece came from the Native Land podcast, which is a political podcast with an all-black cast where they delve into a lot of the tougher political topics and give nuance and understanding. They do a lot of interviews with a lot of scholarly people and, you know, intellectuals and the like. Very, very well-spoken, well-researched and well-educated podcast, right? However, they had a horrible moment. They used that incident with Queen's Flip and Mark Lamont Hill to springboard a topic about anti-intellectualism in America. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm no stranger to like using a topic to springboard something. And I thought what they did was foul because how they went about doing it was, one, clickbaity by using Joe Budden name and face on a thumbnail, and with the words anti-intellectualism to make Joe Budden's podcast look like the face of anti-intellectualism in America, which, hey, let me tell you something. It's really not. If you want to see anti-intellectualism in America, look at the White House. It's right in front of your face. Ain't nothing intellectual going on with the president right now, right? They also just made Queen's Flip to seem like America's idiot.
See, that's some sucker shit.
Yeah.
Some sucker shit.
That is some
you gonna take it personal stuff?
That is some sucker shit. And I hated it, bro. And like I said, like, you know, that's the disconnect, right? Because, you know, we're just talking about people coming from certain backgrounds and stuff like that. And part of the reason why there's anti-intellectual culture in America to begin with is because a lot of intellectuals tend to be snobs. And what people don't know, right, in the case of Queen's Flip versus Mark Lamont, is that Queen's Flip was reacting to Mark Lamont being a smartass. Mark Lamont's easily the smartest person on that cast. Not to insult anybody else, but he's the most educated. He's the most decorated in that field, the most read, and he's also a hood nigga from Philly. And that's a dangerous combination. He that smart, and he a hood nigga from Philly. Easy to make really witty, quick, funny jokes, but at the expense of a lot of his castmates, right? They've since patched it up. Joe Budden on the latest episode, and Queen Split said they spoke to some of the cast of the Native Land podcast, and they've been able to mend things, and I'm glad that they did that because Black people, we got to sit together. I just want to
fat people got to stick together.
Black people,
Oh, my fault.
fat people, we got to sit together too. All right, we all got to try to lose a few pounds, man. Except for this guy. This guy don't gain weight for nothing. But I said that as a reminder that behind these cameras, behind the pictures, behind the moving pictures that we see on our phones, like there's a human behind there, right? And I get that you want to make content. I know part of that is being provocative and having clickbait, but I have a problem when clickbait comes at the expense of like another human and like their morality and their the way they're perceived. Like to kind of try to paint somebody as a village idiot to the masses is unfair. It's cruel, and it shouldn't misrepresent what Queen's Flip has done, because he's accomplished. He may not be the most educated, he may not be the most well-spoken, but Queen's Flip has created a multi-million-dollar business for himself. Like, to your point, right, about people coming from an environment, being a product of their environment. Queen's Flip figured out how to make his personal experiences and how his environment shaped him into being a, like an internet sensation, and doing a bunch of interviews with all types of people from walks of life that most people would never even go to. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds very interesting, bro. You sure you're not a Trump supporter, bro? Like, you just said Queen's Flip just sounded like Trump just now.
Nah, hell nah. Hell nah.
I was like, is he talking about Queen's Flip?
How?
Is he talking about?
Wait,
You said we got to give credit to. Look what you.
Wait. I'm confused. Help me out here. Help me out. Help me out. Where did that go?
Yo, bro, I swear all of everything that you just said sounded like the personality traits of Trump. Everything that you said.
Wait, take
Somebody coming from the less fortunate, a product of their environment.
Trump is from the less fortunate?
Well, not less fortunate, but somebody being a product of their environment and making the best out of it.
But how did Trump become a product?
Oh, my fault. Trump would need to hire you so people can see how he's not such a bad guy. That's what I meant to say. Not that you're a Trump supporter, but so to hire you because what you just said to make Queen's Flip sound like that he doesn't need to educate himself in that aspect to have a better conversation with
Native Land.
Yeah, I think that he needs to be, because it's like you're giving him like a way out of it. Like, for instance, I wouldn't give, like, if we were speaking about Trump, just like we both know or whatever, but we don't have sides or whatever, but like I wouldn't just go blatantly say, you know what, give him the benefit of the doubt. Bro, you're up there with that podcast. You better do your research, especially when a dude like that. You just said that this dude from Philly, one mix, and then highly educated.
Mm-hmm.
Do your, bro, before you have them conversations, get educated.
But all right, hold on. Let me make sure I'm framing this properly. The clip in question with Queen's Flip and Mark Lamont wasn't like on anything educational. To sum up that clip, right? As someone who watched,
no, but I'm saying the way. So when he said of course, sucker shit. He was like this, yo. The way you're speaking to me and the way you're saying it, I get what you're saying, but don't say sucker shit or I'm gonna take it personal. Am I correct?
He said it in an emotional outrage. Yeah, go
Right.
ahead. Mm-hmm.
Right. Correct. If Queen's Flip was a little bit like, oh, like, I can't speak to him like that. He was a little educated in the field of how you should come across and have that conversation when they're speaking about something. It would have been a better conversation there, and he would never that dude who's more educated would never took it personal if Queen Flip knew how to keep that conversation. I know he was being an asshole, but why wouldn't you be slight back?
No, because all right. So that's where I think like a lot of people get the nuance mixed up.
Okay.
Once again, having watched like every episode, in that moment,
Yeah.
when Queen's Flip is reacting to Mark Lamont and saying, because it's not an education Mark Lamont had just insulted one of the other castmates. Castmates. And Queen's Flip reacted to it because he was like, yo, why do you always do that?
That's an emotional response.
But hear me out, because I think part of the things that people don't understand is that Joe Budden shows more of a reality show than it is even a podcast most times, right? So Queen's Flip is up there to give like an emotional reaction to a lot. That's kind of like his role on the show, right? So he's like, yo, why do you always do that? That led into them arguing because he's like, do what? He's like, yo, he's like, you say a lot of this and that and third. That's where the whole tricky words thing comes from. Because once again, I understand Queen Flip saying like he's saying like Mark, like you're too like quick witted and doing all this. So it's like and Mark Lamont's replying with the whole like, oh, I say simple words that are tricky to you. Once again, that's an example of like what I mean. Like Mark Lamont for a large period of like I'll say the last even 2-3 months he's been on that podcast has been more of a smartass and a funny dude. No one really likes a smartass, right? I said all that to say is that because there was no intellectual aspect to that conversation at all. It was all emotional from both sides. So once Queen Flip was like, and he never called him a sucker. He said, I think what you're doing is some sucker shit. Yeah. And Mark Lamont, in his emotions, not hearing what he said, just said, don't say that to me. Don't say that to me. No. And if you watch the clip, Queen's Flip is actually the calm one. It's Imani coming over to calm Mark down and Mark standing up and acting, outrage. So, when the native man framed it in a sense and tried to absolve Mark's part in that, it just painted a really bad picture. Once again, all this has been resolved. Y'all go check it out. I think most of those clips are probably for free on YouTube now. I don't know if Joe still got it behind a paywall, but even in today's episode, the whole cast, has basically squashed the beef. Mark has. And what I love and appreciate about Mark in the moment is he has adjusted in watching the show. He's, not taking personal shots at castmates anymore. And just, a well-timed joke is a great well-timed joke. And when you're on a podcast that big with that many cast members, it's easy to get kind of caught up in some of the theatrics that goes into it. I just once again wanted to use that as a reminder to not let like this internet culture dehumanize people and think that it's okay to kind of use them at your expense, for your own gain. Like let's not forget that like we're people and individuals behind these cameras and these microphones. With that being said, there was a lot of drama in New York. Someone's touched to my New York representative.
Yeah, but before we get there, bro, listen, bro. At the end of the day, I just want to say this about that whole Queens Flip and Joe Budden thing before we get to the New York topic or whatever the case is. Bro, at the end of the day, bro, if I'm dealing with an asshole, I'm going to learn how to deal with an asshole.
That's true.
You can't tell somebody like, oh, one day you said he's been an asshole the whole time he's been there. And then one day, and not one day, he's probably said something before, but now he says, oh, why are you saying that? Like, you knew he was an asshole.
Right. Breaking points, I get it. It's a bowling point, but
you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you knew he was an asshole. It's like, besides that, you know who's not an asshole? New York Knicks. You know what I'm saying?
Knicks
you know whose album was not shit and was the shit? Dave East.
Okay.
So Dave East, the first things first, I want to just shout out Dave East for coming out with an impeccable album, Karma 4. If y'all haven't listened, y'all gotta go listen to that. I got shades of like old Dipset, old Jay-Z, All I Need. He had some Wiz on there, so that was just a nice vibe song. And then he had, of course, one of my favorite artists, Larry June. So the whole album was a vibe. New York is back as far as that aspect. You know what I mean? I didn't know that, that was still there, that core, that sound, but he has it, and I love it. On to the next thing. New York Knicks, I just want to say, shout out, starting off this year, you know what I mean? We're undefeated.
Undefeated.
Right? We have not lost the game this year.
1-0.
So if anybody says anything, like, around this time, go look at the record, look at the time date. And remember me saying this, they're undefeated right now, right? They have not lost.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's not a lie. You know what I'm saying?
At the time
I don't know
of this
about next
recording,
time.
It's October 23rd, so they have not lost as of today.
as of today. You get what I'm saying? And y'all know we about to win this championship. So, I just want to give a shout out to the Knicks. I ain't gonna go too crazy. I just want to give a shout out to the Knicks. Jalen Brunson. We got Jordan Clarkson now. You get me coming off the bench.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Mikal Bridges, OG, Cat. You know what I mean? We got them all. So just want to give a shout out to them. So that's all I want to do.
You know, last night was opening night for the NBA. Not last night. It was the night before. It was Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Was the opening night. A lot of great games, and that Rockets game versus OKC was phenomenal. Double overtime. Sengun made a statement. He looked like he's just like he's living up to the Baby Joker nickname. I thought Kevin Durant was. I was actually kind of
Baby Joker.
Yeah, they call him Baby Joker, man. Kevin Durant. I mean, I thought Kevin Durant had more. Like I was kind of shocked to see at the end because when you're watching the game, you're not keeping track. But I'm just watching Kevin Durant just like mid-range.
Did he have more points than he had?
Yeah. I thought if I had to guess, like watching it, I was like, man, KD probably got a smooth 27.
I thought so too. Yeah, 23, right?
Yeah, 23. But then I was like, okay, it was a lot. He took majority twos, not a lot of threes. Didn't take a lot of foul shots, and you got to get to that line if you're gonna be scoring that many. So,
You seen Edgecombe?
I was gonna get to my Bahamian brother in just a second, but
Get to him. Still come on him, bro.
listen, man. Listen, I've been following VJ for a minute, bro. Shout out to that brother from Bimini, Bahamas, and he's. I'm excited for audience. Half Jamaican, half Bahamian. Bahamian basketball is like the shit. It's the best basketball culture in the Caribbean. Enough said. I'm not gonna go too much
I
on
didn't
that.
even know that was an accolade. Okay.
I gotta preface it with the Caribbean because I ain't gonna say it's like on like the Western Hemisphere.
I had to because I had to think about. I was like, Caribbean. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like,
I never heard that.
No. I mean, think about it, like, bro, from
Everybody
way
gotta find
back
a way to
in
be
Michael
number one.
Thompson
Okay.
to Buddy Hield, Kai Jones, VJ Edgecombe, Eric Gordon. Hey, listen, man, it's a lot of.
Oh, y'all slid Eric Gordon in there on that one.
He's
Okay.
on the Bahamian national team.
Okay, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So,
Still slid him in.
you know,
okay.
did I say DeAndre
Close.
Ayton? I mean, he may not be the best. Shout out to DeAndre Ayton, man. I ain't gonna do too much with DeAndre
But yeah,
Ayton.
36, bro. 36, bro. And I seen the game, bro. He was hitting threes, dunking on people. He's very explosive going to the rim. You
got to handle quick crossover.
Quick crossover.
The kid's gonna
Who
be
do you
nice.
think he reminds you of, or who do you think he might end up being? His game. Who does his game remind you of?
It's tough because VJ is roughly 6'4", 6'5". He has Dwayne Wade's explosiveness, but I think he's a naturally better shooter than Dwayne Wade.
Mm-hmm.
He has, I think that like the aggressiveness of Kobe, but they don't really move alike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I see like bits and pieces from like a lot of different people. Even like I can see a little bit of Devin Booker in there. It's a little bit Devin Booker. Like their form is so textbook, bro. Like Devin Booker and VJ's jump shots are just like
all that, and then he looked like Jimmy Butler.
Listen, man. Jimmy ain't got no lift on his shot.
No, I said he looks like Jimmy
Oh, like
Butler.
in the face.
In the face. Yeah, he looks like Jimmy Butler.
Listen, man, I ain't gonna let you do my Bahamian brother like that,
They,
man.
they look alike, bro.
Listen, man.
If you pull up a picture of him and Jimmy Butler, look like
y'all at home,
Edgecombe look like Jimmy Butler.
do y'all think Edgecombe look like Jimmy?
he look like
All
Edgecombe,
right.
little
Hey,
brother.
listen, man. I know this though. That young brother got a bright future. You know who got a bright future? All right, listen. I'm gonna be transparent with y'all. Let me talk to y'all for a second, right? About 2 years ago, me and this brother right here were having some conversations, right, about some potential draft players, and I was never saying Wemby was gonna be a bust. I just in my personal, non-expert opinion, seen a lot of, really tall players, really slim players, not really had that same impact. The dexterity's not really there like that, I mean, and we kind of saw like Bol was in the league for a little while. And you know what? I'm just gonna say here in front of the mic, like, I wasn't saying that. I was never saying that.
We need a wrap it up button.
No, yeah, no, it's coming. It's coming. I was never saying that Scoot Henderson was going to be better than Wemby. That was never my. I thought Scoot Henderson was going to be a damn good player, but apparently his head coach ain't coaching him. He can't be on the poker games. So I don't know what Scoot gonna have.
Oh my
going
God!
on.
Do not start blaming.
He not.
Hey, hold on. Look, so I
so-
want to let y'all know 2 years when Wemby and Scoot was rookies, he was like, it's just hype. They just hyping him up. He's just,
hype.
they're making it seem like he's this. I'm like, bro, he's 7'4". He is really that good. Do you see what he didn't want to believe? He said, bro, Scoot's gonna he's gonna be rookie of the year. He's gonna have a better rookie year.
Well, I said he had a chance. I said he had a
Listen,
chance.
and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I didn't say he said he was gonna be a better player. He said Scoot's gonna win a rookie of the year. And he's going to be, a better rookie.
Because mind you, he's playing for Popovich and the Spurs. So I was like, Scoot going to have the green light. I was like, he has green light to go do whatever he wants out there on the court. It just didn't. It didn't.
Excuses.
Work out that way.
So anyway, he said this, right? I'm like, bro, are you looking at the same basketball thing I'm looking at? Fast forward now, 40 points. And I ain't gonna lie, Anthony Davis, he was cooking you. He was cooking Anthony Davis.
He was cooking everybody.
dunks
There was nobody who can stop that man.
to handle and lively. Handle.
There's nobody.
And the dude is unstable. Then he's strong.
He's
gotten stronger.
He put on muscle too. He looks.
He's gotten strong. He takes his time with basketball, bro, to educate himself for all the people who came before him, to understand the moves that he don't have, and how to understand become a better player.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing that when he first came to the league. Like he was doing that. And I looked at that. Not the way he played, not the fact that he's 7'4". I looked at the fact of the work he's putting in to become great.
That's true.
And that's what defined the fact that I was like, there's no way you can say Scoot Henderson. Scoot Henderson, he's great. But I didn't think I'm just comparing them as rookies. That's it. I didn't think there was no way in my mind. But yeah, Steph, I'm glad that you still didn't apologize for it, Which is, you was working your way there. That's the only reason I said wrap it up, because I was like, dang, he's never going to say he was wrong. So he's going to keep going on the fact. You know who does that? Stephen A.
No, listen.
Stephen A. does that.
My thing wasn't so much about Scoot versus Wemby, right? my thing was, I thought Scoot was going to have a chance to be a damn good pro. And
Still does.
I was still looking at Wemby because to this point we haven't seen a successful version of that. I mean, even in high school, I forget what the super tall kid from the UMG Academy, he was like 7'7". You know what I'm saying?
White kid?
Yeah, white kid.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen a successful version of that. Like at that time, I'm still looking at Wemby. I was like, he definitely got a smooth handle. He's tall. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I think where I was probably wrong, I didn't know how hard Wemby was willing to work. Unlike Wemby, Bobo looked like he just want to do fashion shit with Ian Connor. Wemby?
No.
Wemby don't care nothing about no swag, nigga. Wemby is showing up to Buddhist monks, Akeem Olajuwon, KG.
Yep.
Like to your point, you already said it. He's putting all the pieces together and he wants to be great. I had never, mind you, prior to, it's not like I never really, we seen the game. I'm like, yeah, no, he's dope. He obviously skill set, we thought Kevin Durant was a unicorn.
You can't define this dude. The NBA,
this is why he's an alien.
Yes.
Like Kevin Durant is a unicorn and he's an alien.
This is why the NBA sucks, bro. You know why? Because they should be marketing the hell out this dude. There's no way the NBA shouldn't be marketing this dude as the next big thing, better than him. I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying they should be marketing him.
He has a chance to be, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying they should be marketing him way more. The NBA, he should be the face of the NBA right now, because I promise you, he'll be able to make the NBA that money, more money than they're making now, if they are able to market it. Because that's how they market Jordan. If you remember how they market Jordan, something so different from the people in the NBA that they couldn't compare anybody.
Oh,
And they can do the same thing with him. You get what I'm saying? So I really feel like they can market him very well.
The only thing I will say is that part of marketing is off-court stuff, and you do have to have a dynamic personality. You do have to have that star factor. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jordan had a lot of, as great as he was on the court, everything about his personality, his demeanor, his looks, his swagger was also that off the court. You know what I mean? Like Michael Jordan became a fashion icon. Michael Jordan revolutionized how we look at basketball sneakers. Michael Jordan revolutionized how we looked at Hanes. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that go into that. But like to your point, I do think the league should market Wemby. Should be marketing a lot of their younger players. You know, like Anthony Edwards just got to.
See, this is why Steph is my guy, but boy, he has a hard time taking that hate out his heart. Bro, give credit to Wemby, bro. We talking about Wemby. He said we should give some more shout out to more younger players. Bro, the NBA is known for marketing that one or two or a rivalry and being able to sell it. That's what they're good at. But I'm talking about something they're good at. I don't want to. What other younger player compares to Wemby right now?
Joe.
That's what I'm saying.
No, Joe. I'm joking. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Chad Holmgren looked pretty impressive his opening night. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to see because I think Wemby needs a rival, and I think he needs a little bit of someone to tussle with. You know what I'm saying? Like how Magic had Bird. Maybe Chet, because Chet's what 7'2".
Listen, bro. All I gotta say is this,
Chet, man, don't let Wemby steal all the spotlight from me, dog. We know Wemby's a monster, but Chet, you a beast too, dog.
Listen, I would rather give credit to somebody and look like I'm joking rather than hating on somebody and have it stuck all the way down my throat. Shout out to y'all.
I like Wemby.
Wemby, Stephen A.
No, Stephen A. Stephen A. for sure. Stephen A. That's hate. Stephen A. is up, bro. And
never did anything to you. You don't know him.
And Lupe, nah, shit.
You don't know these people. You can't hate them.
It don't matter, nigga. That's the best type of hate, dog. That's how you know it's organic, dog. I just woke up with it in my veins. Ugh, I hate this nigga Stephen. But Lupe, I fuck with Lupe. I just want him to stop hating on Kendrick and acting like a contradicting.
You don't know him.
Hey, listen, man. I know what you put out, nigga. Stop hating on Dot, bro. Stop
Shout
hating
out to
on
the people
Dot.
we don't know.
Stop hating
Shout out to
on
what
Dot.
we want to know.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And if I gotta be the hater, man, I'll be the hater, bro. I'll be the villain. Listen, man, I got no problem playing the villain. All right, I will be the villain. But with that, I don't hate on Wemby. I like Wemby. Wemby is gonna be a problem that the league don't gotta answer for. Wemby's gonna do what Shaq did. You know, like when the league went and got a bunch of big men to try to guard Shaq, they're gonna be trying to go everywhere to find someone tall enough to try to even alter his shot. And it ain't. Wemby was doing video game things out there. And with that being said, y'all, this has been a great episode. This has been our most like I don't want to say argumentative, but I feel like we debated more this episode than ever before. Yeah. A lot of good debates. And once again, you guys, let us know what you think. Leave comments, like, subscribe, give us your feedback. You guys have no idea how much it means. And I want to shout out to the people who in my personal life have reached out to me and gave me great critiques, great feedback, and even just great appreciation for the pod. For the people who hit me up and said, I listened to the pod at work and, it's becoming like a part of their routine. That means the most to me as someone who enjoys podcasts and listens to a lot of podcasts, to see that merging of like the audio or the video being played on TVs while you're playing 2K, or if you guys are listening to it on your ride to work, from work, at work, or if you're just having it play at the house while you clean, like those things mean a lot to us. And we just appreciate it, from the first follow, the first like, the first subscriber, like all that means the world to us. So with that being said, we're going to try to keep staying consistent, and we'll check you guys next week. Peace.